What's up, guys? Recently I've had a bit of an existential crisis with in regards to YouTube. I haven't really known what to do and how to do it, but recently I got a new tablet and I've been really getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! Competitively. I recently went to my first regionals, in which I fucking sucked at and lost, but I'll get into that bit later because I thought it was a bit interesting. I think it would be interesting to talk about. Right now I'm going to be doing a deck profile on Cyber Dragons. They're going to be getting some new support in the next set, Breakers of Shadow, in the form of Cyber Dragon Infinity and Chimeratech Rampage Dragon, which I will be putting into the deck later, and I will possibly go over which cards I would replace. In this deck there are a couple of cards that I would take out if I had the replacement cards, and I'll go over those cards as well, but let's just get right into the profile. So first of all, we've got, well, the Big Daddy, the main namesake of the deck. We've got triple Cyber Dragon. If you don't know what he does, he is a 21 stick that can be special summoned from the hand if your opponent controls a monster. You really do need him to get out one of the big cards of the deck, which is Cyber Twin Dragon. You require two of the Cyber Dragons to get this card out, and it will, because you'll be power bonding for it, you'll have a 56 beta that can swing twice, which is insane. And really good for getting over everybody's favourite dank destroyer, Cosmos. The next card is Cyber Dragon Drei. It's an 1800 that has the ability to turn any Cyber Dragons on the field into level 5s, but you will only be able to special summon machine types. You use this to go into Nova Dragon, and really in my deck I've only got Nova Dragon to go into because it's the only machine type XYZ, but it's really useful for if you've got a lone Cyber Dragon core on the field, which is a level 2. Cyber Dragon core lets you get a cyber spell or trap from your deck to your hand, which is really useful because before the structure deck for this came out, it was like there was no search power at all. You had to rely all on draw power, so you had to run triple upstarts, triple reckless greeds, and all sorts just to get to your cards, just to be able to get out that Cyber Twin Dragon, which usually you'd be going neg 2 for, which is never really good. But since that has come out, you can go really, really smoothly into your OTKs. But this is all the Cyber Dragons that I run. I don't run the other one, I believe it's called Zwei? Yeah, Zwei, because that one's dry. Very dry. Puns for days. That's all the Cyber Dragons, that's 9. All of them counter Cyber Dragon on the field and in the graveyard. Obviously the original one does as well, but the OTK can allow you to just normal summon one of these and one of these, have either one of these on the field and be able to power bond for them, which is really nice. So next up, we got more of a bit of a rank 5 engine here in the form of one Chronomaly Golden Jet, which allows you to make itself a level 5. This is more useful than Drei, but the only reason why I run Drei is because it's another name and you need it for your OTK. It allows you to go into Constellar Pleiades and other stuff when you special summon your Cyber Dragon, and then just normal summon this, and if it doesn't get Veiled, then you can make it a level 5 to go into all of those good cards. And then the next two cards, I only run 2 of these because I find that they do clog, is the Galaxy Soldier. You pitch a light type from your hand to special summon it, and then you can search itself. So if you've got like a Drei in your hand, or anything that is really dead for a combo play, then you can just pitch it. Summon this in defense position, search out your second one, and then if you've got another thing to pitch, you can pitch that, special summon it and overlay, which is really good. It's really strong, and it kind of comes out of nowhere. And I'll talk about a little bit of a combo that I use sometimes when I'm in a sticky situation with some of the later monsters. Now, obviously, because I run a lot of light types and it adds loads of OTK potential, to honest, I'm really annoyed because I don't have like two of the same rarity. I really want ghost rares, but they're expensive as fuck. But you know what honest does? It allows you to gain the attack of your opponent, just pitching it from your hand, and it's really strong, especially with Cyber Twin Dragon. Now I run these next three cards are the cards that I would take out of the main deck, because as much as they are good, they're not very useful. They're not very good in this meta, because I literally use them just to pitch cards out of my hand. So first up is the one Machina Gearframe, which allows you to search your 2 fortresses. The fortresses you pitch itself and another machine type, usually a Cyber Dragon, to your grave so that you can special summon it, but also to let you have fuel for your cyber repair plants, because you really do need them, and you really need the search power, but because we've only got 3 search power cards, it's not very good at the moment. I'm going to be replacing these 3 cards for fusion conscriptions, I believe it's called, so that I can add any machine type because of Chimeratech Overdragon and Chimeratech Fortress Dragon being in my extra deck. Seeing as you search, I do believe you search a card listed on a fusion monster in your extra deck. Anyway, now for the spells, I run triple power bond, still wanting to get a hollow, gosh. But this is your OTK button. You play this, and then you just pitch Cyber Dragons from your hand or the field, and you can get the very lovely Cyber Twin Dragon to attack the game, most likely. Next up is another cool spell. This is the Cyber Repair Plant. It allows you to add 1 light type machine monster, which is practically everything except for 5 monsters. And it also allows you to add a light type machine back to the deck if you really need it. So say you're like in the last bit of the game, you can special summon like a core. You can like summon a core, and you've got, as well as having like a Cyber Dragon on the field, if you need to go for an XYZ, you can return this and then machine dupe the core for the Cyber Dragon in your deck. But if you have 3 Cyber Dragons, you can use both effects in order of resolution, which is really, really strong as well. Now for the 2 ofs, I played 2 Machine Duplication. Ulti really want them. It combos well with Core because Core has 400 attack, and it also counts as Cyber Dragon on the field. You can use this to get 2 Cyber Dragons from your deck, or if you so wish, and your opponent has Veiled, you can go for 2 Core and an overlay for something like an Armoured Kappa. But I don't use that card, because I think it's pretty trash, if I'm honest. Especially in this metagame. Again, I'm stressing Cosmos and Pepe. Next is the last of the 2 ofs. It's 2 Mystical Space Typhoon, lovely ultimate rare. The reason why I run this is because there's a lot of back row cards, and they can really, really, really mess you up. Vanity's emptiness being chained to your power bond it's just insulting. It's really insulting, as well as being chained to something like your instant fusion. And it's so annoying. I don't like it. But those are for back row outs. Now for the 1-ofs, I run 1 Overload Fusion for the Overdragon. It's just late game. play this, dump everything from your graveyard into the banish zone for something like an 8k beta that can attack 10 times. Well, attack 10 monsters, but you know. Instant fusion for Panzer Dragons for that extra XYZ ability, Raigeki, because blowing shit up is fun, and we don't like Dank Destroyer or Pepe at all. Foolish Burial, so that you can dump a core to the grave so you can special summon more Cyber Dragons, or have a name in the grave. Book of Moon stops plays, stops your opponent from synchro or XYZ summoning stops. Burning Abyss from even playing the game. And then the last one of spell is Limiter Removal for more OTK potential. And now for the traps. 2 traps done. We hate traps. 2 Grandhorn, new card, it's very good, it stalls your opponent out, meaning that they can't really play that for a turn. And then finally, triple Reckless Greed, because we want to get to stuff faster, and I don't like upstarts. But, well, I should explain why I don't like upstart. I don't like upstart because it puts you further away from the OTK, and if you don't draw into your OTK pieces, you're pretty fucked after that. And it's just like you're giving your opponent a bit more advantage, especially if you're about to go into time. Now for your extra deck, I run 2 Cyber Twin Dragon. We need ultis of this. It's your OTK, really, the main OTK. You can OTK in so many different ways. You know, get this 56 beta out, attack twice, it gets over Dark Destroyer, it gets over anything that, well, practically anything that your opponent can throw at, unless it can't be destroyed by battle and it's in defense position, or they have some stupid traps. Which is what the trap stones are in there for, and the MSTs. Fortress Dragon. Get rid of Dark Destroyer. Also allows you to get rid of Gear Gaia in that matchup, because it's too strong. It really is too strong. Overdragon, need an ulti. You know, for the Overload Fusion. It really is strong. You can just, in the late game, you can just banish as much as possible and then attack over if you've had a really shit game. And then it just makes up for it. Really does make up for it, it's really strong. 1 Panzer Dragon for rank 5 ability, and if your opponent really wants to vanities you after you've summoned it, you can just pop one of their back row or one of their cards and make it so that your opponent's vanities goes away, and then you can make your plays next turn. And finally, as a bit of a weird choice that some of you won't understand, it's Barbaroid. Now, Barbaroid is a 4k beta that can attack twice and burns your opponent for 1000 damage. It also negates effects, a graveyard's effects, from activating when it attacks. The reason why I run that is because Nova Dragon, when it gets sent to the graveyard by a card effect, that includes anything that stops a summon. It will get the effect of special summoning a fusion monster, and this is really strong. I can't begin to tell you how strong this is up against matchups like Burning Abyss, Cosmo, and Shadows, if they still like to fuck with people with them anti-meta variants now. It's just so strong because of how like, it just negates everything. I don't really know what else to say about it. But that's all the fusions I run. I can't even remember how many. So, for the XYZs, for rank 5s that is, we've got 2 Nova Dragon. Special summons Cyber Dragons from the grave. It can banish Cyber Dragons from your field and in the hand to give it plus 2100 attack. And as I explained earlier, it also can special summon a fusion type monster from your extra deck when it gets killed by a card effect. it doesn't have to specifically be destroyed, it just gets sent to a graveyard by a card effect. Unfortunately, obviously, Fortress Dragon and Kaijus will bypass it because those are summoning conditions, which is really annoying, but that's what we have to deal with. And oh well, we're still stronger than most of those. One Pleiades, it's really strong. You bounce any, you bounce any card. You can even bounce your own core if you really need to. If you're in a sticky situation, you might be OTK'd. You can bounce your core so that you don't take as much damage. And I just realised how stupid that was. You will take a lot of damage, but you can just reuse it. Bounce your opponent's cards, and, well, just bounce a lot of shit. Just getting stuff out of the way so that you can push for OTKs. A good play is this, and having a one of your OTK cards on the field, like your not Fortress Dragon, Twin Dragon, that's it. Having your Twin Dragon, then this, bouncing a card off their side of the field, and then attacking for game. Durandal, because Durandal negates shit and stops your opponent from getting so much advantage. I'm going to be replacing this when Infinity comes out for Infinity, because it's much stronger than Infinity. It's not as strong as Infinity, and it's just I have a love-hate relationship with this card. It's good in Heroes, but it's not very good here anymore. Volcasaurus burns your opponent, really. I don't run Gaia Charger, so I can't attack after it, but I don't really care about Gaia Charger enough for it to be worth it. I've got a couple of rank 4s now, in the form of Gear Gigant X, searches you any of your level 4 or lower machine types. Honor Arc, that's also going to be replaced by Infinity, because it does the same thing, but it has a cost, and Infinity doesn't have a cost, which is stupid. And the last rank 4 is a Castel, because bouncing shit's cool. And the last XYZ is a Mecha Phantom Beast Dracossack, which is going to be replaced again with something like the Rampage Dragon, and I'm also probably going to replace one of the Cyber Twin Dragons for a Rampage Dragon. It's right now it's just because I have Machinas and because I have rank 7s, level 7s, that I can summon this. You know, you can get out your two Machina Fortresses, attack with them, go into this, pop a card, it's protected, and that's really it. It's also just another machine for Overload Fusion. But that's going to about wrap it up, to be honest. What else to say? Oh yes, talking about the event that I went to a regionals in rugby in England, with not exactly this deck, but a variant of it, which was shit, meaning that I went X4 in 6 rounds. The matchups were a little bit weird. There was a mix of not very meta stuff and extremely meta stuff. First round was up against the amazing Jamie the Kid 00, which I was surprised to see. He was playing Reptile Pepe. I managed to win a one out of the 3 games up against him by Raigeki power bonding, which was so strong. You might have seen that he actually also, annoyingly, he Fortress Dragoned one of my Cyber Dragons and a Nova as well, which really pissed me off. But then again, I was expecting that because of Dank Destroyer. Round 2, I think, was up against Yang Xing, which I won really, really easily. Yang Xing, all they do is float up against you, and they can't really do much until they make a Trish play, and that's like their only good play up against you, because you hardly ever touch their monsters like Yazi. You never really target them. If you're going to do any targeting, you're going to be doing it before they synchro with Book of Moon. That's And then third round was Satellar Knights, which I fucking hated because they're stupid and so helmet that they do the same thing every time. The player I was up against literally did Triver 3 times per game because that's his only play that he was doing, and he only went into he only ever went into things like Castel to remove my stuff, and he only ever went into, what's the other one? I've got it right here somewhere. He only went into Deltaros, that's it, Deltaros. He only went into it once because he didn't have any Tellarknights, so he had the stick chair play, and he made a Deltaros so that he could actually summon something from the deck, which was stupid. I hated him for that because that started off a really good play. Third match was who was my third match? Third match was Fluffles, which I really did enjoy. It was up against a friend of mine who I met at the Shadow Games in rugby, and he was playing Fluffles. We had a 2-1 game, and he won, which was really annoying. But it was really fun because it was such a long game, and we went into such grindy plays until I couldn't play anymore, and he OTK'd me. And then fourth matchup was up against another friend. He's on YouTube, and I'm going to credit him because he is such a great guy. His channel is called Razor Rizal, and he's Razor of Razor Rizal, Gareth. He was playing Beals Turbo, and obviously that being instant like fuckery for me because I couldn't attack over his Beals, and I didn't really draw into my power bombs, which was really annoying. But that was also a fun game because it was a 2-1 game as well. I'm going to preface this also by saying that I 2-1'd everything except for... every game was a 2-1 except for the last round which I played, which I won 2-0, and the Satellar Knight game which I lost 0-2, which was rather annoying. But playing up against Gareth, it was rather fun because we're just rivals. We were just doing a casual game. We weren't exactly going to go super intense against each other, even though it was a regional, which he ended up winning, and I was fine with that because it meant that he got the same result as me. He got a X4. In my last round, my opponent actually didn't arrive, but I had a game up against the Yang Xing player who's played Heroes in that time, so I played up against him, and I 2-0'd him, which was fun. And then after I tried to do the winner box, but I lost. But I did pull a ultimate rare Fiendish Chain because we had the latest Astral Packs. Another couple of people to note out that we saw there was actually Yami Mash from his Yami Mash channel and Yu-Gi-Oh! Masters, who Gareth actually got to play up against, which I thought was actually quite amazing. And also Rescue Cat Duelist was there running Cosmo as well, which I thought was great. I didn't really get to chat. I got to chat a bit with Jamie during our match, and I thought that was quite fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't really see anybody or talk to anybody else other than Gareth, but overall it was such a fun event, and I really enjoyed myself. I know that this went off into a tangent, but I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll be releasing a video sort of explaining why I've sort of changed my content, because a lot of you sort of subscribed to me because I did a couple of music videos before and some vlog videos, which I decided that I really hated and I thought were really shit. So I'm going to be doing this kind of content because I absolutely love Yu-Gi-Oh! But thanks again for you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.